Good afternoon and welcome. My name is Sandra and welcome to my channel. And can I also say welcome to those of you who have subscribed recently. Welcome to the little family. So today I am going to be doing a foundation review. Albeit, I must admit, it is very late in the day. Time now it's actually coming up to 5 o'clock. So it's a good thing it's summertime. Normally when I do a foundation review, I do a wear test as well. And I like to wear the foundations for at least 4 hours. So I'm hoping to get about 4 hours wear out of this. Again, for those of you who don't know, and you're new to my channel, I am a woman of a certain age group. So I am over 45. I'm 49 years old. So I'm 49. I have got extremely oily skin, which is just, I know it's ridiculous for someone in my age group to have oily skin. And that's the reason why I was so keen to get the foundation I'm reviewing today. So the foundation I'm reviewing today, that should give you a clue to what it is. I've got it shipped over from America. And it's this one. It's the one from Bakerie and it's the Cake Mix Foundation. Okay, so there are 30 shades in the foundation and apparently they say that it is a demi matte finish. So from the reviews I have seen on YouTube so far, it seems like that it is a very quickly drying foundation. So it's one of those that you're going to have to work in sections on your face and you're going to have to, and it will dry down matte. And again, I think like the Fenty foundation, this foundation also dries down darker. So it doesn't oxidize, because I think people get confused. I think people do get confused between oxidization and drying down. Think of it like paint. When you put something on wet, it's one colour, but as it dries down it becomes a darker colour. So before I put that on, I need to put on some primer. So let me put my primer on. I'm going to put on a Becca primer. I always put in a Becca primer. I didn't bring down my usual one, which is the Ever Matte Poreless primer, and the reason why I didn't bring that down is because I use that primer for foundations when I'm not sure about the oil controlling effect of it. Now everyone I've seen who's reviewed this foundation, they've all said this foundation is particularly for people with oily skin, oily combination skin. I'm not going to have any issues, it seems, I'm hoping, with oil control. So I just thought I'd put on a more moisturising, hydrating primer today. So I'm using this Becca one, which I actually quite like. Right, so that's done. Okay, so the shade I got this foundation in was in shade 13. Now I didn't have a Scooby-Doo in what shade foundation to get. I really could not tell. Again, everybody who I saw on YouTube, so I said women of colour, they were all confused about the shades. So what Beauty Bakerie did do, they have created a shade comparison guide. How accurate the shade comparison guide is, I do not know. So I'm just going to go to it now. Before I do that, the foundation actually costs $28. Hope you can see that. So it costs $28, which is about what, £24 our money? That's assuming we'll ever get it over here in this country. So let's have a look. So shade comparison chart. So they say they built the shade comparison guide to help out our sweets compare our shades to other brands, but we need your feedback to perfect it. Comment on our social channels to tell us your shade in other brands and your cake mix match. Right, so as you can see, so one of the things that they've done, which I think is fantastic, because most foundations, as we all know, they always go from light to dark. So the lightest colour is going to be the smallest number and you'll get the higher numbers or the deeper shades. That's if they go into deeper shades. So this has got 30 shades, this range. They've put the deepest shade as number 1. So I know already that Nima Tang, so the very deep skinned beauty influencer, she wears number 1. And they say that compares to Fenty Pro Filter shade 490, which is the deepest shade in the Fenty. They also say it's comparable to MAC NW58 and to Huda Beauty Faux Filter Hot Fudge 550R. So going by this, I was actually very confused. I felt that I could probably have gone for maybe 3 shades in this range, and I'll tell you why. So the first shade I thought I could be was number 7, because they said that compared to the NARS Sheer Glow in Benares, which is slightly more orange. So no, because I'm not an orange person at all. I'm very neutral undertoned. They also said Bobbi Brown Skin Foundation in Chestnut and the Fenty Pro Filter 450. I have worn the 450 in the Fenty Beauty, but what I tend to do these days, I mix a 450 with 420 to get my perfect match, because I think I'd actually be a 440, but that's the shades I've got at home, so that's what I use. So the other shade I thought I could be was number 11. And so they say number 11 is Bobbi Brown Skin Foundation Warm Walnut, which I know is my shade in Bobbi Brown, and the Fenty Pro Filter 440, which again is a shade I thought I am in Fenty, but I haven't tried it because I just haven't tried it. And they said in the NARS Sheer Glow Trinidad, which is a shade which I think people have suggested to me that I could be. But in the NARS, I've been suggested to be Benares, New Orleans, New Caledonian. I've been given so many different shades for that. I don't know what shade I am in NARS, to be honest. And the shade that I purchased was number 13. So that's what 13 looks like. And you can see it's got a more neutrally undertone. And they say the comparison for that is Kat Von D Locket Foundation Deep 78 Neutral, the Tarte Amazonian Clay Rich Honey, NARS Sheer Glow Macao, which I know I'm not because that is just way too light, and the Fenty Pro Filter 430, which I have worn by itself as well. So you can see where I get confused. So there's several shades here which I could be. I mean, again, even if I look at number 15, it says in 15 Bobbi Brown, you could be Cool Almond, and that's the shade I'm wearing in the Skin Foundation, and it works perfectly fine for me as a winter colour. It wouldn't work for me in the summer. And Estee Lauder Double Wear Sandalwood, which I've also worn in the winter but not in the summer. So you know, so I'm gonna see how this shade 13 works out for me, and I'm praying that it's going to be a decent match for me, because it's not like I can even send it back. So let's see, shall we? Right, so this is the packaging. The packaging is extremely cute. Look at that. And they do say that they recommend that you use as a primer their Wake and Bake oil, but I think that's particularly for people who have got dry skin. I haven't got dry skin, so I'm not going to worry about that at all, because as you can see, I've already got a sheen on my face, so I'm not worried about it blending out, because apparently people do have some difficulty in blending this foundation out. Now I can't even get it out the box. I've got to take it out of the box. I don't want to destroy the packaging because it's so cute. Oh, this is like the Krypton factor. Can't get this damn thing out. Right, there we go, that's it. Okay, so this is it. So it's the usual 30 mils, 1 fluid ounce. I look inside the bottle, the shade looks really dark on the bottle, but again, looking at other people, how when they've reviewed the product on YouTube, when you put the product out on your skin, it looks really light. The colours are really deceptive, so I'm going to try not to be thrown completely by the shade that it comes out as. I say that, but I know what I'm like. Right, okay, this is the only thing I've got, so this has got to work. So let me get a brush. So the other thing I remember people saying again on YouTube is it's no good using this with a sponge. This is a brush foundation. So as you see, it's got a pump, and I think what I'll do, I'll squirt it on my hand first actually. Let's see. Okay. Oh, that looks all right. Oh, I'm very, very, very hopeful. I haven't put any concealer or colour corrector on. I'm just kind of hoping that this is going to give me enough coverage to do what I need. Right, so I've got the mirror. Let's dab this in. And they say work in sections, so let's see. Should I bring you in? Let me bring you in. Okay, better? Right. Deep breath, cross fingers, let's go for it. Okay, so that colour looks really scary, but I'm not going to worry. I'm just going to blend it in. Okay, the colour's going to be fine. Yay! Yay! Hallelujah! Do, 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 do. Right, okay. The shade is going to be okay. If this dries down darker, I think I'll still be okay, she says. Okay, so that little pump is giving me light to medium coverage. Let me just do the rest here. Okay, all right, I'm not scared. I'm more relaxed now. The shade is going to be all right, she says. Right, let's put some more on. Okay, well, so far the shade looks great, so I'm just going to put a second layer in and sort of just concentrate on all the areas under my eyes and so forth, because I haven't had any sleep all week. Between my daughter studying her GCSEs and me worrying about that work situation, oh gosh, I just stress. Oops, remember, working sections. Right, so the coverage they say it gives is demi matte, which again, I love that. That's me all over, because I like a natural matte finish. The days of pancake finish are over, and I know a lot of the beauty brands now are trying to give matte foundations with a natural skin-like finish now. But again, it's also summer, so a lot of people want more dewy finishes now, but give me a matte finish anytime, especially for me and my oily skin. Okay, I like the finish of this foundation. I think the colour match is perfect. See, I don't even have to blend down my neck because the shade is just perfect, I think. What do you think? So far, I mean, if you look at my chest and all of this, it does look a little bit dark, but let's let it dry down and see how it goes, and then we'll have a truer idea. I like the coverage. I like the coverage. Right, I'm going to do the rest of my makeup and then we'll get a good idea then of how this foundation is looking and whether I need to set it or not. Again, some people have said that they don't need to set the foundation, but again, you're talking to Miss Oily Skin here, Queen of Oiliness. I think I will need to set it, but I just want this to dry down and then I'll have a good idea. So far, coverage is good. I'd say this is a good medium to full coverage foundation. Before I go, let me just show you the time now. Time now is, what is it? It's nearly 5:15. There you go. Alright, see you in a bit. Okay, so as you can see, the foundation has dried down kind of beautiful. I'm really pleased with how this has dried down. The shade is okay. It's actually beautiful. What I've done so far, I've just put a little bit of under eye highlighter using one of my new Colourpop no filter concealers in shade 46, so I'm very happy with this. So I've put a little bit of that around my eyes, along my nose, just along here, but the foundation is gorgeous. I haven't put any powder on at all as yet, so can you believe? No powder, and it looks like I have. I'm going to put a little bit of loose setting powder on. I'll just put some of my Laura Mercier translucent setting powder, but I don't need to put a lot on, going by how this looks already, so I'm really pleased. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to finish my makeup. I don't know if I should bother to pull my hair out because, as I said, it's already after 5 o'clock in the afternoon, but hey, for the sake of YouTube and looking semi-decent, I'll pull my hair out anyway. I'll take some photographs and I'll come back to you in about 4 hours. Alright, see you in a bit. Take care. Hi, I'm back. So I've been wearing this foundation for about, it's just under 4 hours. I'm watching Britain's Got Talent and it's like the final stage now when they start picking people out, and I really don't want to miss any more. So I'd rather just come back in and just wrap up this video. And I mean, I don't think anything's going to change in the next hour or so, so let me just do this now. So just to remind you, the foundation I'm reviewing today is the new foundation from Bakerie, and it's the Cake Mix foundation, and I'm wearing it in the shade 13. Right, so for those of you who've never seen one of my foundation reviews before, where the hell you been? I don't know. Anyway, I've been doing these for quite a while now, and when I do my reviews of foundations, I try to do a wear test when I can. I like to wear the foundations for at least 4 hours, mainly because I have got extremely oily skin. So for me, a foundation, I can tell if a foundation is going to be decent on me, because if it can hold back my oil, my sebum, for at least 4 hours, then that foundation is going to work for me. How I normally do my reviews, I have a rating system which I created called Tops, and I'll put the the details of it up above here. So the T stands for transfer, does the foundation transfer? The O stands for oil control, so does the foundation control my oil, obviously. The first P stands for performance, so how did the foundation apply? Did it blend easily? Did it melt? Did it fade? Did it separate? All of that. Then I look at the price. So is the price affordable for what it is and the market that it's placed itself in? And I look at the shade range. So is the shades available are they decent? Right, so shall we go through this? Well, you could tell. I mean, I've actually fallen asleep in this foundation. Right, I nodded off. I was literally sitting down here. I finished cooking, and I just thought, let me just sit down for a little bit before I go off and do whatever. I was going to put some bed sheets and things away, but let me just sit down for a bit, and I fell asleep. So if my head's looking a bit flat on one side, that's probably why. So so I fell asleep on one side of my face. Never mind. The foundation has felt extremely comfortable in the time that I've been wearing it, and you know what, I'm kind of loving this foundation. So let me go through this. So when I do the first two, the transfer and the oil, I tend to use blotting sheets. The best foundations, they will use sort of like 2 sheets, and the worst foundations will tend to use 3 to 4 sheets, sometimes even more. So let's do this first. So sheet number 1, let's do this. Okay, so that's sheet 1. Can you see that? Right, so you can see there's a little bit of foundation transfer there, but it's not much. And to be honest, I don't think I need to go in with another sheet. I think that looks all right. So it hasn't controlled my oils completely, but I don't expect any foundation to do that because, as I said, I have got extremely, extremely oily skin. But it's not bad for nearly 4-hour wear. Very warm environment. My house is very hot right now, and I have been doing all sorts of stuff. I've been cooking and moving around, the usual sort of thing, and I fell asleep. So I don't think that's bad actually. So for transfer, there's hardly anything there, just a little bit there, and for oil, that's not bad either. So I think for transfer, I'm going to give that a 9.5 out of 10, and for oil control, I'm going to give that a 9.5 out of 10 as well, because I think that is bloody good, and that's 2 of my main things I look for in foundations. So I'm already very impressed already. Right, the third thing is performance. So has the foundation melted? Has it faded? Has it separated? How did it apply? Did it blend easily? All of that stuff. So they did say that this foundation is for people with combination to oily skin. People with dry skin, they recommend to use the Wake and Bake oil. But I would say if you've got dry skin, use a good hydrating moisturiser or a hydrating moisturising primer as well. I just use my normal primers. Actually, I didn't even use a mattifying primer. So that's how well this foundation has done. How did it blend on? Again, because of all the stuff I'd seen on YouTube already, I knew that I needed to apply it in sections because it dries very quickly. So that's what I did, and I had no issues in applying the foundation on my skin, again because my skin is actually very oily. I haven't got dry skin in any place on my face at all. So for me, it applied very easily. Performance wise, no fading, no separating, no melting. I've got no issues with the performance at all. I mean, yes, I know it's only just been about 4 hours, but I literally have no issues with this foundation at all. So I think for performance, I'm going to give this a 10 out of 10 because no issues at all. Obviously, I'm going to be wearing this foundation sort of during the next week or so. So if my opinion changes on that, I will put the details down either in the description box below, or I'll pin it in a comment in my comment section. So it'll always be at the top, so you can see any updates there. But at the moment, first impression wise, performance, I'm giving this a 10 out of 10. For price now, so the price is $28. I think that's a good price for a foundation. I mean, considering there are foundations that are $46, $50 odd, and there are obviously cheaper foundations that are like $10, $14 or whatever. This is priced right in the middle. So this is priced in the same bracket as the Fenty Beauty foundation, the Pro Filter foundation. Obviously things like the NARS foundation that came out recently, the NARS Radiant foundation, the Bobbi Brown Skin foundation, those are all much higher in price. They were $40+ in America and £32, £34 over here in the UK. I think even £38 for one of them. And the and the Fenty Beauty one is £26 over here in the UK. Not sure how much it is in the US, but it's going to be a little bit cheaper than this in the US. So I think this is priced perfectly for a good foundation. So again, I haven't really got a problem with that. I think it's affordable. It's easily available for you in America. It ain't easily available for us over here. I think price wise, really pleased with that. So I think for price, I'm going to give that a 9.5 out of 10. Because it's, you know, it's good value for what it is. Finally, for the shade range, well, it's 30 shades, and I think I think that's good. For me, anything above 20 shades is always going to be good, and they have gone right across the spectrum. How Beauty Bakerie have done this as well with their shades. Usually most brands, they put the lightest skin shade at the lowest numbers, so they usually call those 1 or whatever, and the deeper skin shades are always in the higher numbers. This time with Beauty Bakerie, they've done it the other way around, so they've put the deepest shade as number 1, and they've put the lightest shade as number 30. So I think that's actually good. It's something for us to get used to, because a lot of people are getting confused about it. So just think, the lightest shade is going to be the highest number, the deepest tones are going to be the lowest numbers, and I was number 13, so I'm in there in that deep skin shade range. So I think shade range, I think is pretty good, and they've actually considered the undertones as well. Do look at the shade chart they recommend, because it's a good guide, and also look at people's videos on YouTube as well, and consider what they look like in natural daylight and with the false lighting that they've got as well. The foundation, to me, it hasn't oxidized at all. The colour that it dried down to has remained that colour, so I'm perfectly happy with this shade. So I am thanking all my lucky stars that I chose the right shade, and I literally did go by their chart, so I was lucky there, very fortunate. So I think shade range, I think it's good again, 10 out of 10 for that. So I don't know what my adding is like there, but I think I could probably work this one out actually. I've given 9.5, so what's that? That's 18, 19. And I've given, for performance, I've given a 10, so that's 29. For, what did I say, price, I gave 9.5. What's that? 29, so that's 39, so that's 38.5, and for shade I'm giving 10, so that's 48.5 out of 50. That's a damn good score on my rating system, it really is. If you can get hold of this foundation, let me know what you think if you've tried it. For those of you in the UK and you're thinking about getting it, I use the shipping company. So the shipping company I use is Shipito. I am trying to work out, see if I can get some sort of referral code, discount code, so people who want to use them can use them. But I use Shipito, who were previously GoSend, and I did it on expedited delivery. So, and that was via DHL, so it came within 2 days. That's really quick. You don't even get that with some of the companies when you buy them here. So it came in 2 days. That is really, really quick. But I would go against using the expedited delivery. I thought that would work for me, but I got hit, and I mean I got hit on the customs charge. So don't do that. If you're going to use a shipping company to buy the product, just do it as normal. So it's normally 8 to 10 day delivery, and it normally comes within a week. Just do that and pay the normal charges for that, and that's it. And normally when I do that, I don't get any customs charges either. By doing it through this DHL route, I got hit with the customs charges. So I paid the excess for the quick delivery, and I paid again. I literally paid the same price as the bottle. I paid £24 for customs charge, and that pissed me off. So, you know, so I feel like I paid twice. I should have got 2 bottles for that. So it was an expensive bottle of foundation. So I'm going to say, if you want to get this product and you want to get it from the US, don't use the expedited delivery. Just use normal standard delivery from the shipping companies over there. Right, that's it. Before I go, just want to remind you about some giveaways I'm doing, because I am nearly at my 900 subscribers. So I just want to remind you what I'm giving away. 900 subscribers, I'm giving away the ASOS April beauty box. I'll put a link to that video up here, and also the link will be down there in the description box. So I'm giving away that. And I'm doing another little quickie as well, because I did a little mini haul from Colourpop recently. In the Colourpop delivery, I ordered by mistake 2 lipsticks from the Ellery collection. So I've got 2 of these. So it was the Colourpop It was the Ellery collaboration with Colourpop, and it's the colour Ceci. So I've got one of these. So if I get to 950 subscribers, all you've got to do, comment on this video and you could be getting one of these, okay? So once I get to 950, anyone who's commented on this video, I'll enter you into that competition and I'll DM you if you've won it. Okay, so there you go, one of these. And I think in America these cost what, $6.50 I think they cost. Over here they're about £10 upwards, but there you go. It's a nice colour as well. Right, that is it. Thank you very much for watching. Please don't forget to give me a like. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to my channel and don't forget to press that notification bell. It's very important, because if you don't press the notification bell, chances are I won't appear in your feed. Alright, but there you go. I'm giving this foundation a thumbs up. I love it, and I'm loving it so much I want to buy another one, even though I don't need to, but it's just like, I want another one. It's so good. Alright, take care and I will see you soon. I will be coming back very soon with a challenge video. I think I'm supposed to be applying makeup with just my fingers. I can't imagine doing that at all, but I think that's going to be my next video. Lord help me. Alright, see you soon. Bye.